Welcome into the Sports Buffoons Podcast.
Welcome on in, everybody, to a special Easter episode on the Sports Buffoons here. My name's Tanner. I have no Mike, no Jason, but that's all right, because it's NFL mock draft season here, and we're looking for one big episode today, and then we'll have another big show tomorrow, Monday night at 7 p.m. Central. We'll have another 6 on as well, or another 6 people talking about different teams as well. So today, first off here, I got Smoking Jeremy joining me here. He's going to be picking for the Detroit Lions, part of the Kneecap Biting with Smoking Jeremy B on YouTube for the podcast. Did I say that right?
Yep, Kneecap Biting with Smoking Jeremy B. I'm also a moderator for, the admin and creator of Motor City Kneecap Biting Facebook page, where you can watch it also. So if you are a Lions fan and you want to watch, you can go ahead and join that page. I do 3 to 5 shows a week.
Oh, wow. Awesome. That's awesome to see. You guys, make sure you go out and follow him and join there. Great content. I watched a few of the videos when I was doing a little research with everybody and just checking in. So I love the content there. And then here we'll bring on Jonathan Grishman, ex-pro baseball player, founder of Alpha Performance Baseball, has locations in Fort Worth, Texas, and then Alpha Performance Softball as well. Did I miss anything there?
Alpha Performance Training is the other part. No, you got everything correct. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm looking forward to doing the show actually with Dan on Let's Talk Sports as well, talking Major League Baseball. Been running my baseball and softball program, working with kids from ages 10 to high school ages. We're doing all kinds of good work in the community with them. So yes.
Yeah, I see great updates from you. I know. Did you guys just recently did a tournament this weekend on Easter weekend?
Yeah, we did. We played yesterday in a one-day tournament. I had 2 of my teams play, and my 12U team, my 2009 12U age girls competed, and they ended up finishing second place in their tournament this weekend. So good growth and very proud. It made my Easter even better, seeing that group compete as well as they did this weekend.
Well, that's awesome, and I know it's springing into tournament time, so I'm happy for you to join us, be able to join us, even if it is on Easter Sunday night. But hey, free time's minimal during the spring and summer and fall, so I know that.
Absolutely.
Well, awesome, guys. So, real recap here, or what we're going to do here for the preview. I got Jonathan here picking for the Saints, New Orleans Saints. Smoking Jeremy here, picking for the Detroit Lions. I'll be making picks for, obviously, my Chiefs. And hopefully, he's a little delayed here, but hopefully Matt Thomas is able to hop on in time to pick for the Cleveland Browns. If he's not able to show for his pick at the time, that's fine. We're going to make this a fun event here, and we're going to pick for the Browns as well. So, we're just going to have a fun time here, kind of discuss the different teams. You don't see a lot of mock drafts out there that have multiple people, fan bases especially, surrounding their teams all together at once. So, this is kind of an exciting idea, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. So we'll bring her up here. And obviously the Jags are first on the clock. Unfortunately, I was not able to get a Jags fan for either night. But are you guys ready to roll?
Absolutely.
Sure. Absolutely.
All right. So we'll hit continue here. First one, Aiden Hutchinson goes off the block. So, Jeremy, I know, right?
Well, there's been rumors coming out of the Jags office. They're off of Hutchinson is the thing, so that's weird that all these mocks automatically just go Aiden Hutchinson every time still.
Agreed. It is kind of odd because I didn't think they were going to be in the running for him anyways. Right. I thought they would go otherwise.
I think they would go Neal or Okonwu because their needs are still at tackle and guard because Cam Robinson hasn't signed his tag yet.
Yeah, and Doug Peterson being an offensive-minded coach coming from, KC and Philadelphia, I could see him really trying to bolster up that O-line there to give Trevor Lawrence, some kind of peace of mind this season.
So, man,
Absolutely.
is that just an indictment that the defensive end class is just that good that we
It's deep.
more towards that first pick taking that DN over an
I
offensive
mean,
tackle?
it's really a testament that the first 4 offensive tackles, they're not generational talent, but they're so good they should be considered good enough to do it. You know what I mean? It's just weird. I don't get it. You know, you got Evan Neal that's played left guard, right tackle, left tackle, and even taken some snaps at center during an injury time when he was in his freshman year when he started out at right guard. Then you got Ike Ekwonu, who's played guard and tackle at Georgia. I mean, that kid's amazing. I mean, look what he did to Hutchinson, who's considered the number 1 overall prospect.
I agree.
And it wasn't and it's not for the lack of Hutchinson trying in that game either.
Yeah, I agree that the focus, if you're the Jaguars, should be protecting Trevor Lawrence and utilizing, that offensive line to be able to get the best out of him. It's kind of what a lot of the talk about the Bengals with Joe Burrow, what they're trying to do. Hopefully, the Jaguars should be in the same boat looking at offensive tackle here. But like I said, I think that as good as the defensive ends, the 1, 2, Hutchinson, even Thibodeau, and I think they're graded a little bit higher than the offensive tackles at the top of the class too. And that's probably why you're seeing a lot of those mocks, going towards that DN spot.
Absolutely. But that being said, if they do that, man, can I trade back?
I know, right? No trades for this one. Not this year.
No trade for this one.
Yeah.
You know what? Because the only guy that's not an offensive lineman that they've talked about in the last week has been Trayvon Walker due to his upside and his athleticism and versatility. Let's go Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker at 2.
Yep.
And there was a report, I think I saw something where it said Dan Campbell does not like Kayvon Thibodeau, and that's saying that his mentality doesn't fit the culture possibly. Is that what Campbell's going out saying?
Right, because that started with Albert Breer, and then it went on to Jeff Risdon. Now it's gone to Sports Illustrated. Now it's on Barstool Sports. So it's more than one place reporting that he said this. So I think it's probably fact because, you don't get that many different articles by different people saying such a thing.
Right. And MCDC is all about his guys. You saw videos. I can't remember who was the player, but he was talking with them in the hallway, like, "Hey, you're part of the change here. I want you here." And he's all about his guys. Tracy Walker, thank you. He's all about his guys, and that's what I love at MCDC. He's been so fired up ever since he got the job, and he's been one of my favorite guys, favorite coaches, period, to just follow. And I have so much belief in him that he's going to turn that organization around sooner than later.
Well, Campbell follows. He was part of the Sean Payton coaching tree, down in New Orleans, and he got to see a lot of the how, in its essence, of how to build a culture. You see a lot of coaches that from the coaching trees, like Bill Belichick's coaching tree. They see the culture, but they never learn how to build the culture. Campbell's figured it out, I think, and really well, and being able to get that interim job in Miami, kind of putting the footprint down. And then going back to New Orleans under Sean Payton for a few more years and learning under him on how to establish and how to build a culture the right way. And I think that's setting up Campbell where, he gets the quirkiness and the media makes fun of him so much for, but he is loved by the players. And in essence, that he's succeeding so far in the short term that it could be a long-term play for him.
Absolutely.
Fully agree. All right, 16 New Orleans Saints are up. Kind of looking at previous draft picks here. Garrett Wilson's off the board there. If you're looking at receiver, Jameson Williams, who I know the Chiefs are possibly targeting, which I'd rather skip on him because I want a guy this year to play, not next year, but whatever. So what are we thinking? What are we thinking here for the newly coached Saints?
Yeah, I was
the newly coached Saints.
I see a lot of the offensive tackles are drafted early.
Yeah.
You kind of had a lot of conversation that Trevor Penning would make it at least to 16. Cross would be one option that potentially could if he didn't. But seeing Penning go a little earlier in front of that kind of shocked me a little bit. So, in essence, what I look at is the offensive tackle and also wide receiver being the two biggest needs. And if you're that much is taken early, I'd have to go receiver at 16 just to assure, because I know Chargers and Eagles are going to be looking at least offensive tackle and a wide receiver. I think Eagles did take Jameson Williams. So in a fear of run on receivers to make sure that at least somebody that, and I know there's no trades in what we're doing right now, but the best bet that I would take would be Chris Olave. I think he would be the number one they would pick if the offensive tackle is gone. Chris Olave should be the next pick, and in this instance, he's the first pick for the Saints.
Wow.
And Jake London just keeps falling.
Yeah, Jake London will fall. He didn't even run a 40. He did do his pro day. He ran in all the drills, but he did not run a 40, which is very telling that possibly his ankle isn't fully healed and he didn't want to have to push off that fast.
And I will say I'm not very high on Drake London. I know a lot of people love him for his size and what he's done at USC, but I don't see a lot of the necessary traits that you see from Garrett Wilson, Olave, even Jameson Williams when he was healthy. That the playmaker that you just go get the ball and he makes something happen. I don't get that.
I'm just the opposite. I think he is a playmaker. Look who was throwing to him. It's Keaton Slovis, a guy that was so bad he went back to school to try to improve his draft stock.
Right. I get that. I agree.
I agree,
but that's a factor.
He didn't have a high drop rate. He had great route running. He played 8 games, had over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns.
I think that's a factor, and I agree that he didn't have the best quarterback. Whereas Jameson Williams had the Heisman Trophy winner. Olave had potentially a Heisman should be a Heisman finalist again this year, and potentially a top 5 draft pick in 2023 with C.J. Stroud. But there's just something I'm just seeing what I feel. I don't see the same. I don't get the same wow feeling about Drake London that I did of Chris Olave or Jameson Williams this past season. And it might be just I didn't get a chance to really watch a lot of the games being out in Los Angeles at USC. But I never got that feeling like he is a true playmaker and someone that the Saints, they need somebody that can step in and, if anything, be the number 2 guy to Mike Thomas, or if with his history, step in and be the number 1 guy right now off the bat. And Chris Olave, I feel like he has that.
And let's think who's throwing him the ball. Essentially, Drake London, USC is not. Those guys didn't really have, I would say, a true running quarterback. Jameis Winston, besides his ACLs from last year, this guy's going to go out and still scramble around. And Chris Olave is used to that with the Ohio State scheme as it is. So there's that kind of connection, I think, with that as well.
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll go Chris Olave at 16. I'm on here.
Well, Cleveland Browns don't have a pick till what? Pick round 3 right now?
Yeah, I think so. After that Deshaun trade.
Right.
All right, so Drake London goes off the board right away. Then there's another edge off. So now Saints are back up at 19. What are you looking here? I guess we can go to all and view what the top is here. We got a quarterback, linebackers up here. Kind of still get more defense. What are you looking at here?
Now, see that again. Offensive line was such a big need, and losing Terron Armstead is something that it's going to be a huge hole. At this point, I don't feel like I don't think there's an offensive tackle now with Penning being, I think, the last one. It'd probably be that would be noticeable for the first round. I don't necessarily want to reach at this point for 19 because I know I have another second round pick at least at that point. So at that point, I would look to see about defensive side and what we could do a little bit more. I mean, we've kind of had a little bit of a transition with players. I know this year we didn't really have a lot of loss on the defense side besides Marcus Williams in the secondary, second cornerbacks. We didn't really lose any, but I feel like we need to get a little bit more younger still, a little bit more athletic on the defense side. We don't have Quan Alexander signed at the moment. I know we had Pete Werner drafted last year. We had Zach Bond drafted a couple of years ago as well. But I'm not high. I know the name right there, Kenny Pickett, is at the list. I'm not interested in drafting a quarterback in first round for the Saints. I'm not interested in drafting a quarterback at all in 2022. Just kind of put that out there. So I'm looking at Devin Lloyd as best player available. And I think just saying, hey, plug him in, because Demario Davis is getting older. He's not as he's still one of the great linebackers in the game. But you're looking at somebody who is in his mid-30s right now, or is close to being mid-30s, who's kind of getting up there a little bit. You got to continue to get younger. So I think Devin Lloyd, best player available on the defensive side, just because the offensive tackle spot is not there to draft at 19. So I'm going to go with Devin Lloyd from Utah.
Great pick. I think the same thing. I think that would be a home run at 19.
I'm right there with you guys. I just think looking here at the depth chart, linebackers, outside of Demario Davis, Pete Werner's your number 2, technically, and there's just not a lot there after that.
No, and I say, and Pete Werner played very well, learning under Quan and learning from Demario, but Zach Bond has just not been what they hoped he would be. Playing out of position, that's the other side of it. Wisconsin, he was a rush edge, backer, and he's trying to learn to play, a cover linebacker. And so I think something like getting it's still out there right now for him, but getting somebody who can help play now with Werner and Davis, and then also you're thinking of the future with Demario does move on at some point. I think that'd be a great spot to do so.
Definitely. All right, here, Chiefs are on the clock. Back-to-back picks here from that Tyreek Hill trade that I was really strongly emotional during that day as soon as I found out.
I bet you were.
I was very upset because that's the core. Like, we've had him forever. And then, there was already talks in KC, like, oh, yeah, we got him re-signed, whatever, we're set. And next thing you know, this guy, within 2 hours in the morning, is traded to Miami out of nowhere. So it was a pretty emotional day. On this side. Now, Chiefs here, there's a lot of different things that we can go to here. Cornerbacks for, safeties, edge, the whole shebang. But we got back-to-back picks here. Wide receiver is a thing. I love Pickens. I think that's kind of the consensus from I see on Chiefs Twitter as well, is Pickens in this round if we don't go up and get Williams from Alabama. But I think our defense here needs to really improve, and there's a lot of depth positions that have not been filled, unfortunately. So I am actually going to go ahead with Elam as the first pick, because I think he can make the biggest impact at this moment for the Chiefs.
I thought Pickens was more like the 11th wide receiver right now because of his injury that he suffered. And I thought the most complete receiver is Treylon Burks still on the board.
Let's see here. Nope, I don't see him here for the receivers. Right now it's Watson, Pickens, and Moore, and Mechie.
Wow.
Not a deep run for receivers here. And that's why I think they're looking to trade up for that. But, also, we got to think about, too, for the Chiefs, too. We lost, we're losing some safety depth as well. As on safeties, Tyrann Mathieu isn't a thing. But, we just we got Justin Reed there from Houston. So there's that positivity that I don't think I need to go Daxton Hill. And we need a guy this year to perform, plain and simple. That's why I'm not going to go in a Jabo. So I think I'm going to go Elam here. Jonathan, any thoughts?
Well, sir, I had a little technical difficulties. What was the pick just now?
It's the Chiefs here. We're going to look at Kaiir Elam.
Yeah.
I think it's just bet to fit because, we lost Chardavius Ward there as well in the corner. So and Mike Hughes went to the Lions. So not a huge loss there, but, still depth.
No, absolutely, and I think I jumped back on when I heard about y'all talking about Tyrann Mathieu being replaced by Justin Reed. I think getting someone at least to help out in the defensive backfield is definitely going to be something that the Chiefs have to address a little bit more of. As you said, you've lost a few pieces, some that were important pieces on that defense, but and I think you said Elam was the pick that y'all was made.
Yep, Elam is what I went with.
That's it. I think that's a good pick. It's right around where he probably should go in that first round, and I think that it's going to be something that it will help cover the depth, and I think that's something that the Chiefs need to do a little bit more addressing after this year compared to what it was last. Their Super Bowl runs that they had. They had the depth on the defense. This year, I don't think they necessarily did have the depth. And I think having Elam step in and help out cover the replacing Matthew as well as with Justin Reed, I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, definitely. And then, I got back-to-back picks here. I could go reach up and get a receiver there. I think I'm going to wait for a receiver for the second round. So I'm going to look for a guy, an edge rusher, who I think we need right away. Even though we just got Frank Clark back. Frank Clark was almost ineffective, essentially, from last year. I know the Chiefs tried to do some Chris Jones outside. It didn't work out well. I'm actually going to go ahead and do Boye Mafe. Because, like I said, we need players that'll play this year if we're going to stand a chance in that AFC loaded West right now. And I think he's going to be probably the most effective for the Chiefs this year.
Well, considering that the quarterbacks you have in that division, and I said loading up on a defensive back in round one, loading up on a defensive lineman on round two, that's something that, again, talking about the depth that you need to have in that division, competing against Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr. I mean, yeah, you got to load up a little bit more on that defensive side and help out to at least play against those offenses in the AFC West.
Yeah, and if you think what Veach did last year in the draft for our GM, our offensive line was the key of why the Bucs were just atrocious, and now, this year, it's like we went from the O-line just being dominated with the draft. We stole some guys, and now it's dominant. So this year, now it's defense's turn to really improve. So I think we got to go that route.
Yep. All right. We should be coming up on 32 shortly then.
Alrighty. So 32.
What is
I
that?
got you. I got you, Jonathan. You had a little echo. I got you.
Okay. Let's see. 32. What do we have on that board?
So your top picks right now are Pickett, Hill, Ojabo, Corral, and Scene.
I like Scene. Lewis Scene.
Yes. I agree with you. You make a quick impact on your defense for sure.
Right, because the Deshaun Elliott signing doesn't scare me away from a first-round safety. I think it's a very smart pick. We went edge with the first, who can also play linebacker. Now you get seen. You're building up the defense. I think that's more important.
Definitely. Looks like Tim. Jaguars go Raymond.
And now, who's left in the wide receiver room right here?
Wide receivers here. We got Watson there. Pickens is there. Sky Moore. Mechie.
I'm going Watson.
Watson?
Yep.
I think this guy's secretly a solid route runner, and he could be good for Goff.
He's got good size too. I think he's what six. I think I saw he was at the combine at 6'3", 220, 225.
Yep.
6'4" and 218.
Okay, so I made him a little heavier than what he showed up at the combine, but that's a good piece to have. Again, if you're trying to help Jared Goff and prove that he can, and allow him to prove that he's still as talented as that number one pick he was drafted by, getting someone with a good size who I think he's a very good route runner as well, and that's something that you need to have for Goff, who can run himself open a little bit and give Goff some open windows. That's a good pick and a big body to go on that offense as well.
We picked up DJ Shark, who's a speed guy, but he has trouble staying healthy. Christian Watson, he had a minor injury. I think it was in 2019 at the beginning of the season. I think he only played like 11 of their 13 games, but he still played in the championship game, and he was used to kind of in that Deebo Samuel role. He scored the game-winning touchdown on a 70-yard scamper on a jet sweep.
That's going to be perfect for the Lions. All right, our first Browns pick is up. I don't see Matt on yet. So,
what are their needs?
the needs. Oh, I got it pulled up here. I had it at least. If this would work, right? Come on.
Is the board still showing? It's not showing on my end right now.
Sorry. Put it all here. All right. It's showing now what's available. I can refresh real quick.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. All right. So Cleveland's needs wide receiver, DL, edge, linebacker, safety, tight end, cornerback.
I think they'd go Leo Chanel. Leo Chanel or Pickens if he's available.
Pickens just got taken by Atlanta.
Of course he did.
Right?
That would be the Browns' luck on that, right? So I think Leo Chanel at linebacker would be a great pick for them as a second rounder.
Leo Chanel? All right, yep. I agree with you. I think they need some help on the linebacker side, too.
Even more on wide receiver right now? Because, again, who's the receivers they have on the roster that you feel
Amari Cooper, Donovan People-Jones.
I'd lean more as far as Sky Morris. A slot. At least someone who can get in the slot and run himself open all day. Give him another weapon, at least for Deshaun, to have with Cooper.
This wide receiver class is deep.
I agree, it is. I absolutely agree with you. It is. But I agree that the defense may get a little bit more, but they've put a lot of picks in the last couple of years on the defensive side. Linebacker.
Yeah, mostly on the defensive line and cornerbacks. Though They haven't really addressed the linebacker room, and it's starting to age, and it's showing. That's why their front seven couldn't stop a lot of running teams.
No, that's fair. That's fair by itself there, especially in that division. So yeah, we'll go ahead and I like that Leo pick, so we'll go Leo. All right, let's see here. Saints are up next. Sky Moore's gone. Bonito, Leal, Petre. Oh, I like that Petre one, so close. All right, Saints are on the board here. We'll look at best available. So here's your best available at the moment. Mm-hmm. What are you thinking there?
I'm still kind of circling on that offensive line, off the tackle. Seeing what they have now. I have to go to the list.
Here in the second round, I would say Bernard Raymond out of Central Michigan if he's there.
I don't see them on the list now.
I'm not seeing him. Nope. I think he got taken.
Probably mid-second round.
Jaguars.
Yeah, right before.
Right sandwich between your two.
Yeah, that was one that I was kind of wondering as well if he would be available at that point. Yeah, so that's...
How's your guards doing, interior-wise?
Man, if we draft another interior offensive lineman, I think Saints fans would just absolutely lose it. And being from New Orleans, it would ruin Jazz Fest down there for the Saints fans. I think if they draft another interior offensive lineman. Well, we have some good...
With Kamara, is Kenneth Walker available? Because with Kamara possibly going to have to miss some long time.
And I have a running back in mind, and I don't think just yet. Kenneth Walker is a good running back that I think he would pair off with Kamara very well. But there's another running back I do have in mind. And I think what the offense for the Saints really has shown greatness is when you have the scat back, speed back, and Kamara is a bigger version of what they've had in the past. Is that version, but a big power back, and I know Kenneth Walker has some good size to him. I think it's just a little too early still, round 2 in my eyes, to look at that, especially when you still have the offensive line questions. And I mark right now. And you might be right about that they look at it and say running back would be a good spot to take at 49 here if the offensive tackle position has kind of gotten drained a little bit. But I know we need to go a little bit on the defensive line and the interior defensive line, and I've seen a lot of good things and a lot of talk about Travis Jones. It has been climbing up the board a lot, and I think that would be at this point if the right offensive tackle position is not there in the first round, and the right prospect is not available in the second round. I think Travis Jones would be a good spot to take here at 49. So that would be my pick for the Saints is Travis Jones.
Definitely, and that's not going to hurt for depth-wise either. Behind Cameron Jordan and Marcus Davenport, so
Absolutely.
I think that's perfect situation to go into as well. All right, so Chiefs are next on the clock here. Let's see here. I think it's gonna be kind of hard, man. It's gonna be kind of hard to pass up a linebacker for us here. I think losing Hitchens wasn't a huge deal, but we don't have a lot of depth back there, and with these three still on the board here at 49. Personally, for me, I'm going to go Quay Walker for Georgia. The guy's quick, he's fast, but I think he's going to be my guy here at 49.
Okay.
Loading the defense up.
I mean, is that going to be the theme for the AFC West in the draft? Is a lot of those teams are going to load up more on defense? They've done it in free agency as well. I mean, they might as well continue that trend in the draft.
Right? It went from stopping the Chiefs most years, like who can you get to stop Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes on the offense? Now the Chiefs are having to look at who am I going to stop Russell Wilson and Justin Herbert? You know, all these playmakers that are happening now in the AFC West, and yeah, it's unfortunately for the Chiefs, it's going to have to be loaded up on the defense and try to hit on a few guys like we did Nick Bolton last year. So, all right, 62 here. I'm going to look at all. All right, if it was me drafting here, I would totally go with another linebacker. But I don't think they're going to go that route. I think here, this is where we're going to look at possibly a wide receiver here. I like Alex Pierce here or Calvin Austin. I don't think they're going to know their Clemson guy, though. And 62, I know because we don't have another pick until, it's a little ways away. And you gotta go for somebody at this point if you didn't get Pickens. If they didn't get Pickens in the first round. So I think I'm going to go probably Pierce on this one. What are your guys' thoughts, though,
Great
for
pick.
Chiefs depth?
I think Alec Pierce is a big, strong, fast guy. He's another one of those 4-3 guys. You know, I'm not saying I can't remember exactly where he was either just a little faster or just a little slower than Watson. I think he was 4.38 if I remember right. But that being said, he's a talent. He's one of the reasons why Desmond Ridder looked good. He runs good routes.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't drop a lot of passes. He's got a nose for the end zone.
The guy knows where to go where he needs to be. So that's the biggest thing. That's Patrick Mahomes' favorite.
You don't need somebody to come and step in to be Tyreek Hill. You are basically drafted somebody a couple of years ago in Mecole Hardman, who is essentially a replica of Tyreek with the speed-wise. Is he as good at the route? Probably not, but as far as what Tyreek brings. But he is as far as the speed goes, that Mecole Hardman is that essential cheetah-like player that the Chiefs have had, that he can step in and roll and be and try to hopefully be that person for them. So getting somebody who, as you said, is a bigger target, who can run good routes and be another option behind Travis Kelce and take over that number 2 spot where Mecole can be that speed guy, go fly down the field and let Patrick throw as far as he can to get it.
Yeah, and Mecole, it's also a contract year. So we all know what happens contract years.
Yes, we
It's time to play ball. So, and also Josh Gordon re-signed with us. Now we actually have him for a full off season as well. So maybe he can be somewhat the Josh Gordon we remember from before his launch suspension. So we'll see. All right, Detroit 66. What are we looking at?
Troy Anderson, is he there?
What position? Sorry,
Linebacker.
thank you. Trey Anderson, Montana State.
Yes. Love this guy. RAS a 10, relative athletic score of 10. He's one of 7 players to get that this year, with 2 of them being Trayvon Walker, Jordan Davis. You also got a late round pick that I don't want to say later because I'm hoping I can grab him.
I like
At least
it.
I'm smart enough to know not to say it.
Amen to that. All right, Browns are up, guys. So we picked a linebacker last time for their selections here. Let's see here. So their needs still are wide receiver, defensive line, edge, safety, tight end, and cornerback. Obviously, we know they're good on running backs right now. But what about Trey McBride? What are your thoughts here for him maybe being taken off? Taken off at this point?
That wouldn't be a bad pick for them. The only thing I don't like about Trey McBride is he was more of a pajama warrior. He never ran that fast in game film. If you actually watch his game film, he's kind of that slow, plodding receiving. He still gets the yards because he doesn't go down at first contact.
Gotcha.
Bigger guy, big target. He's got that as you said, that built like a tank type of body, but he, as you said as well, moves in a way like a tank. Like I say, he's not going to beat you in a foot race down the field. But if you have someone like Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, you can kind of get some more, get maybe another guy, another weapon that can be that open downfield weapon for Deshaun Watson. A safety blanket like McBride would be a good pick, at least to get you that mid-range routes that he can get you, 10 yards first down and be able to keep moving the chains that way.
Yeah, and I think also he'd probably be huge for the running game too, because I think, didn't they lose Austin Hooper? Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, having a big body come into play with that running game they got going on there, that could be a huge win. And
you're not wasting a second or a first round pick on him, so that's what makes it great.
Correct. Are we all agreeing here with Trey McBride?
Yes.
All right. Trey McBride for the Browns. Matt Thomas can't be mad about this one. All right, let's see here. Go down the way. Sam Williams was what I was looking at. I was really hoping he'd stay around. Even though he has a little off-field character issues, I think he could be a potential threat. All right, Chiefs here. Round 3, 94. Man, we have a lot of picks, I tell you. Well, I'm on all. I think eventually I'm going to look at a running back because I just don't think Clyde and that depth is going to do enough. I think you got to look for another weapon there. But I think it's going to come back down to another linebacker for me, possibly a corner. Corner or safety. Let's see here who's available. Kirby's there. He's
there you go.
I wouldn't mind. Vernon
Kirby
McKinley
Joseph.
Another. Yeah, I think I didn't realize he was still there. I think Kirby's gonna be my guy. O'Neal's there, but he's late though.
And he's also slower. He's a big guy, but he's slower. He does tackle well, but he's not a great in-air ball defender. He's not a ball hawk. Whereas Kirby Joseph does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think I am going to go Kirby since he's still there. I didn't expect him to be there, so I'm going to go Kirby Joseph here as some safety depth as well.
And getting someone like I said, I think that'd be a good pick. Get someone who can create some turnovers, and that's something that you're wanting guys. Again, I'm talking about the offenses in that division in the AFC West. You're going to want somebody that can go and create opportunities and go get the ball and try to cut those offenses down. So that'd be a good idea, a good pick right there.
Solid. Yeah, agreed. All right. Detroit up 97, round 3.
Okay. Let's see.
Any positions you want to look through, see who's there?
I'm thinking real quick. Let's look back at safety again.
Safety here. Cook, Cross, McKinley, Anderson.
Let's go back to linebacker again. I think we're going to double dip this round. Because now that you already drafted Troy Anderson, who should be able to pair up with Barnes and do better than Anzalone, of course. Anzalone's brought back for leadership, not because of his play.
Veteran presence.
Yes. Kind of like Brockers. You can't afford to cut him because his cap really doesn't save you anything.
All right. It's not going to hurt at all to have that.
So what do we got there at linebacker?
So linebacker, Damani Clark, Darian Beavers, Brian Asamo.
Darren Beavers. Yes.
Cincinnati.
Yep, 9.72 RAS. Brad Holmes is big about RAS. Last year in the draft, he didn't draft anybody lower than an 8 in relative athletic score.
Oh, wow.
So Beavers over Damone Clark.
Damone Clark just had that.
And I know you mentioned
He just-
the RAF on it, but I mean, what about Beaver? Because Clark came on really well over the last 2 years, and he put up some solid numbers, especially this past season.
But he just tore his ACL at his pro day, so he's going to be out till December.
Clark? I didn't know that, actually. I'm an LSU fan.
It was either that or his pectoral.
I didn't know that. I need to go and figure that one out. I did not hear that part.
That's why Damone Clark didn't go in the second round. Otherwise, he'd have been gone in the second round because he had like a 9.5 RAS. He just was a little slower. Darren Beavers is a big guy with speed. He tackles real well. He did great for Cincinnati. It's another reason why they won, on top of Desmond Ridder, Jerome Ford, and Alec Pierce. It was their defensive play.
So he had spinal fusion surgery is what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Huh.
Yeah, he's out for he's going to be out for the year.
Wow. Well, I didn't know that. All right, well, then the pick makes more sense.
All right. Saints are up at 98.
All right, well, I keep going back to that offensive line, offensive tackle spot. See if we can pull up the offensive tackle list, and I think I have a name. I'm hoping it's still there.
Max Mitchell, Kellen, is that Deesh, and Luke Godecki, Braxton Jones. That's tackles.
Where did I just out of curiosity? Where did Rasheed Walker? How long ago did he get picked? He got picked that
mid-third round.
Rasheed Walker at 90.
Yeah, not too far off from where I was hoping to get him at this point, but I cannot wait much longer on an offensive tackle and just to help the depth wise. I know we're going James Hurst in the on the start the season at left tackle. Max Mitchell, I think, is going to be he's a prospect that's going to be needed a lot of development over the next year, maybe even 2 years. And he could develop into a right tackle and move in Ramczyk over to left side is a possibility. I think they were flirting with that idea to at least give some time to see what James Hurst can do. But I'm going to go ahead and with 98. I need to get it off the tackle on the board now. We're going to go Max Mitchell from down the road in New Orleans in Louisiana Lafayette.
All right. Max Mitchell, you said, sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I can go to sleep to the fifth round. 177.
That's going to be me after the fourth. All right. So the Browns are actually on the clock. Look at that. Back to back to back. All right. So Browns here. Looking at their best bets here. So far for them, linebacker and tight end is what we've gone with. Obviously, there's still a lot.
What about wide receiver? Who do you got there for him?
Let's look. So Jones Jr. is still there from Tennessee. Danny Gray, Romeo Dobbs, Tyquan Thornton.
Velus Jones Jr., speed for days. He would be like the great guy. Then you could make Donovan People-Jones actually what he should flourish at, a slot receiver.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I agree that they need a speed guy in the room. Cooper's obviously not that. Peoples-Jones, I think he should be able to bring more, as you said. He should bring more to the table, and you need someone who's going to be that big play depth. Now that you have a quarterback that can throw the deep ball and be accurate in the deep ball with Deshaun Watson, I think Velus-Jones would be a good selection here.
All right, I agree with you here. Deshaun does not hate against weapons, so. All right, Chiefs are on the clock here. 103. I mean, it's kind of getting crazy here. We're not even in the fourth round yet. I don't think I'm looking receiver yet. What are my selections so far? I've done an edge, corner, safety, linebacker, wide receiver. I mean, what do we have for wideout still? What are we at? Pick. I don't know if I'm going to go with that route. 103. I still got another pick here. Linebackers. Yeah, Bernard's there for Baylor. If I try for a reach. Man, it's kind of a tough one. I think there's not a lot of edges either at this moment. I like Malone. I've seen a few of his. But but Tyreek Smith for Ohio State's still down there too. Let's see here. I'm probably going to go the linebacker situation here, and probably Brian Asamoah, the second from Oklahoma. It's probably who I'm going to go with here at round 3. Just build that linebacker depth here.
So really heavy on the defense still.
It's defense, man. I'm telling you. We lost a lot of pieces from 2018, 2019 that we drafted to free agency. And
absolutely. And that's not a bad pick. Samoa's got some good speed, good range, side to side. He can move around, so that's not a bad pick for the Chiefs on defense.
And this real quick here, sorry, we got a couple comments I missed here. So back there, you were asking if the Chiefs would trade back to the Texans. Yeah, I think that'd be great to get, maybe a couple more picks too in the draft. But we already have a lot of picks, so if we trade, if we go up, let's move up and grab something in the top 15 is what I would say. Oh, come on, hide. And then Wink just said, isn't Cornell Powell the only wide receiver guaranteed to be on the Chiefs after this year? I think that's correct, because Juju's on 1 year, Miko's on his contract year, and then Josh Gordon's only on 1 year. So, I
forgot Chiefs even signed Juju Smith-Schuster too.
Yep, we got TikTok guy himself. So,
him and Jackson Mahomes are gonna have a blast.
Let's just hope they don't do anything together, please. All right, Browns on the board at 118, round 4, guys. Kind of reminder here, looking ahead. Where you at here? Browns. I think they were needed still a wide receiver, DL, and edge guy. We can see what we got here at 118. Nothing too crazy. Looking at it, safety, cornerback with them. I don't think they're going to go after anybody like a running back or offense. Just
who's cornerback right now?
Let's see here. Josh Jobs there. Zion McCollum and
there you go.
Caleb Evans.
Zion McCollum. There's your sleeper pick for that round.
For Sam Houston State. I think, yeah. I didn't look too much into this guy here. For Zion.
Yeah.
I'll have to check him out.
He's decent. Great in-air ball defender. Will get you some picks. His hip swivel's good. He's got some speed. Got some length to him.
Nice. All right. Yeah, I think that fit right up their alley. All right, Saints at 120.
So it's here now. I'm looking. There's 2 spots. It's running back and safety. I'm kind of looking to see. And running back, as I kind of mentioned earlier, as far as a guy to pair with Kamara, a bigger back. There's 2 of them right there that I see, and really actually 3 with that are on top of that list. That would be great compliments, and Isaiah Spiller, Brian Robinson Jr., and James Cook. That would complement Kamara in this offense completely. I was not anticipating Spiller to still be here at this point of the draft in the 4th round, and I'm a little taken back by that actually. But it makes it a little bit more difficult because Brian Robinson was the guy that I was really targeting at 120 for the Saints. Big back with good speed, a one cut and go, and it's something that again that can really be a little bit more balanced on the offense to allow Kamara to do what he does best out the backfield and catching passes.
And that's assuming Kamara's playing, right?
Well, that's for the first half of the season, yes. And I think, I'm still, and even then, at that point, you're still looking at 4 to 6 games. I think is what he's going to be facing for suspension wise. So having someone like a Robinson who can handle the rock, 20 times, I think that's a good pick. Spiller's another one. It makes it more difficult seeing both those guys at that top of the list.
I think Robinson's the better fit.
That's exactly what I was, and that's why who I was targeting at 120 was Brian Robinson. But letting Spiller go is really a surprise. But yes, I agree, and that's who I was targeting. And I'm gonna go ahead and follow what my plan was, and I'm gonna go at 120 Brian Robinson Jr.
All right, we'll hit Brian Robinson Jr. for the draft here. I got to make sure. I got one more pick, right? Yeah, I do. Okay. Before my long-awaited break. So here.
And you got a long wait all the way to the 7th round after this.
That's right. And I got 4 of them in the 7th.
Exactly.
So here, I could go a few different routes on this. I could go wide receiver because I want to probably do a running back right at the end of the 4th round here at my last pick. So let's see here. Taekwon, I could reach for him at this point, or I could go running back and get him. I could look at edge again, which, you know, it's a huge emphasis on the Chiefs this year. Oh, come on, scroll down. Dominique Robinson's there, Clemens, Wright, Tyreek Smith. Let's see here, corner, safety. Josh Job's right there still. So is Castro Fields and Michael Wright. It's going to be hard guys to have to wait on to pass up.
Mikhail Wright is going to be good.
Yeah, he's been one of the guys I had circled here that if the Chiefs don't go, if the Chiefs trade back, I hope they trade back into that 5th round and reach up to get Michael Wright. I'd be okay with that. Honestly, I think I am going to have to maybe do a reach here just for the fact that I don't have those picks in the 5th, 6th, or 7th round, or 5th and 6th round. Is I am probably right here going to go running back at this point. And I am actually going to look at James Cook here. I think he would fit the offense for us. He's quick, you know, similar to his brother in a way, who can just be a pass catcher as well. And that's kind of what, you know, the Chiefs' offense is kind of like here, and a good depth guy. So I'm going to go James Cook here.
I think that's a good pick as well. And I understand the thought process of why going running back when you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You want someone who can. He took a pounding. He's been hurt a little bit more this year or this past season than what he has dealt with at LSU. And what he was able to do at LSU was be that scat back who could run the ball between the tackles, like a Darren Sproles type of running back. But getting someone who's got a little bit more size, a little bit more to that running up the middle, and James Cook could fit that role a lot better than what Helaire has been able to do so far.
Yeah, and that's the key. You just said it. He's been hurt, right? So you need somebody there that's going to be on the field for you. All right, let's see here. Michael Wright's right there, guys. I mean, even looking at the best overall here, I still probably wouldn't go in. Robinson's there. I think I would at this point reach here and grab Michael Wright at cornerback. And that does it for me for a while. So let's see here. Let's see here what's going on. In the meantime, guys, you know, I still have a couple spots. Jeremy and Jonathan, if you guys are wanting to hop on tomorrow night, I got a few more guys. I got Panthers, Titans, Pats should be on. I got Mike Settle from the Buffoons here. He'll be picking for the Chiefs. Jets and the Pack came on late here, kind of signing up. So if you guys, you know, I still got a couple spots. If you guys are free, you're more than welcome to hop on.
Appreciate it. Got practice actually tomorrow night, and that's gonna make it a little bit hard. But
right, I figured time was tough for you.
I got them kids. I got to keep working with them.
All right, Saints here at 161. We are officially in the 5th round. What are we looking here?
I'm looking at this. Like I said, safety was a spot that I kind of circled.
Safety. Okay.
Safety was one. Just kind of see what they're at on the board. Where we're at for it, you know, maybe right now it might be still too early to at least look at some of those guys. There's about 1 or 2 safeties that I have circled maybe for the latter part of the draft and last 2 just to see what they can be like and cover some needs and see what they can do as camp bodies. But the other one was tight end. I think I saw a tight end on that list, and a position that's been very underwhelming over the last couple of years. In New Orleans, and we have Adam Troutman has just not been what they hoped he was when they drafted him. Johnson is another one. Juwan Johnson is another one who's shown some glimpses. He was a receiver, but he's not been. He moved to tight end. He's been inconsistent. There's a couple on that list right now that I'd like to see how they would fit New Orleans. Rucker being one who's kind of down the list a little bit right now, and a little surprised he's available 161. And Jalen Wittermeyer was the other, and for some reason I was trying to figure it out, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I saw a lot of talk about him being a second round pick, and then I don't know if he got hurt or if something just turned a lot of the scouts off of him to where he fell later in the draft and a lot of the mocks out there. But a freak talent athlete and Wittermeyer, and it kind of surprised me to see that he's been falling down the boards like this.
It is, and he's a massive guy too. 6'5", 256. I can't remember what. I thought there was something though that happened with him.
Yeah, but I didn't see. I googled that actually.
Who is that?
Jalen Wittermeyer from A&M.
I can't remember what it was either, but there was something out. It was right after the combine, and then it kind of disappeared.
That doesn't help, but
I'm just giving you the time frame. That's what I was going for.
It was about a couple weeks ago. I looked it up as well, and I couldn't find anything that said. Like I said, I think early in the draft process, he was, one of the top 3 tight ends. I thought, or at least that I thought I saw, and then he flat out disappeared and was falling down into the 5th, 6th, 7th rounds. Man, that's an intriguing talent. It's a physical specimen that you gotta love. And man, off the top of my head, if I can't figure out what it was and I don't know what it is, I'd like to go with Jalen Wittermeyer. I think over him, I think he gives it the dynamic that this offense in New Orleans. That you have someone with Jameis Winston with the arm talent he has. Mm-hmm. You need a little bit more on the with the skill positions. With Mike Thomas coming back, we drafted Chris Olave, getting somebody that can help in the middle of the field. And with that big body, I think that's going to be a huge asset for the Saints. And I think Jalen Wittermeyer would be the pick here in round 5 to go with.
All right, Jalen Wittermeyer it is. Big buy for the Saints here. That's going to help. Wink here just commented here. NFL defensive tackles falling on top of you ain't like college. Nope. It ain't like college at all.
No.
All right, Lions are up here at 177. We'll go back to
who's available in the safety room.
Safety room here. Yusuf Corker, Sterling Weatherford.
That's the one.
That's the guy.
Sterling
Miami,
Weatherford.
Ohio.
Yeah. 6'3", 220 pounds. Runs a 4.5 40. Has a 40-inch vert. In-air ball defender. Likes to smack players over the middle. That's what I like. We need tacklers.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be nice to have there. Right up MCDC's alley.
That's a kneecap biter.
That is. 181 Lions are back up here. We are in round 6, by the way. So what are we looking here?
This is where we're going to build for depth. We got a wide receiver. We've got our safeties. We've got our linebackers. We got our edge guy. I think here, if Hassan Haskins is available at running back, because I doubt we re-sign Jamal Williams, and we're going to need to replace that next season. So I like Hassan Haskins.
All right. And then just FYI, Zamir White, Jerome Ford, and Tyler Beatty are all still on the board as well.
That 27 reps bench press. He's got that Le'Veon Bell type of running where he's patient and then hits a hole. I like it. Okay. Hassan Haskins.
Right. Hassan Haskins it is.
Just and at the same time feeding into the Michigan crowd as well, right?
I could care less who he played for. 27 bench reps for a halfback.
Absolutely impressive. I agree with you on that. That's impressive as can be.
194 Saints. What are we looking here?
Oh man, going back to the safety room, I had someone, and I think he's available. He's at the top of that list, and it's Bubba Bolden. Someone who's dealt with a lot of injuries in his career at the U, but he's got a good size, 6'3", 205, ran a 4.47 in the combine. A lot of talent physically that is there. Just never had a lot of opportunities with the injuries that he dealt with in his career at the University of Miami. But you take the potential here in round 6 and it helps plug somebody that you've lost Malcolm Jenkins to retirement. You lost Marcus Williams to the Jets. We're looking to at least get some more depth in that secondary. And if Bubba Bolden can stay healthy, he's got a lot of that talent that can really help and be another diamond in the rough that the Saints always usually find in the latter rounds in the draft.
And also help between, hopefully Marcus May can keep himself clean enough to be able to play all season. So having a guy there, hopefully learn early in case something does happen.
Absolutely.
All right. Bolden. No new comments. Double checking. All right. So here we're getting to starting to get in the late 6th round here. Browns are on the clock. Let's see here. Good old Browns. I don't know. Isaiah Thomas is still there for them as well on the edge. Somebody that can help maybe learn on that side of things. That's kind of who they're looking for. What are we thinking here? Jeremy, got any ideas?
Who's this for the Browns?
For the Browns.
What do they still need?
They still need.
I know we did wide receivers.
Let's see
we've
here.
done linebackers. Do they need safety?
They're looking at safety and edge are kind of the next two. So
Is
safety,
Amari
right?
Barno still on the clock?
I do not see him. Oh, at edge. Sorry.
Okay, so he's.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Mari. I do not see him.
Okay, so he's been picked already. So then they would probably move on. Safety is Corker or Smoke Monday there.
Smoke Monday is there.
That's who they'd take.
Smoke Monday here, and that's obvious. I mean, that's one of the coolest names I think right now. Smoke Monday.
You know, his real name is Quadarius Monday. Smoke was the nickname he was given his first game in college because there was 3 over the middle routes and he smoked them when they tackled him.
That's awesome. Well, now we know. That's awesome. All right, lines are coming up here at 217. What are we looking for?
217. Well, this is where I'm going to do that little bit of a reach for wide receiver.
Okay.
And this is where I'm going to go with Isaiah Weston out of northern Iowa.
Oh, okay.
That's my sleeper RAS 10 guy. He ran a 4.39 40. He's 6'3", 225 pounds. The guy had a garbage QB and still managed to put up almost 1,000 yards.
Just think what he can do with an NFL quarterback now. That's going to be
exactly
kind of nice to see, especially for a wide receiver depth like the Lions, for instance, or anybody.
Yeah, because that makes.
Yeah, that's 2 FCS receivers. Watkins, you had Watkins as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Watson. Yeah.
Watson. That's right.
Yep.
Yes, Watson. So, interesting. I mean, hey, I get the thought process. You're able to put up numbers at that level. You said what you do with the level of an NFL quarterback and NFL offenses, and you're able to go and if you're able to dominate that level, there's been the stigma of small school play can't translate. That's gone. I think that's gone over the last 10, 15 years now with these guys who are playing anywhere. They're able to just come out. They're stepping up and showing up. So that's interesting pick. It's a low risk, high reward type pick here in the 6th round.
Yeah, because we actually do not have a 234th pick that goes to the Broncos for the Trinity Benson trade because he's still on the God blessed roster.
I got you. One of those. All right, the Browns are up here at the start of round 7. Honestly, guys, I think this is where it's time to go to the edge. I mean, this is more of a depth, and hopefully you kind of hit at this point. Or what do you think?
D'Angelo Malone. Trying to think some of the other late round guys.
Yeah, I think D'Angelo's already taken.
Okay. Who's there? Because I can't read it on my phone.
Edgewise, Christopher Allen, Asezi Otamaweo, Trey Williams, Tyree Johnson, Adam Anderson, Jeremiah Moon.
Tyreek Johnson.
All right. A&M, yeah, I like this guy. He was actually going to be one of my picks in the 7th year, so
sorry.
That works out. Hey, that's what it's about, right? So Tyree Johnson here, I like it. You good with that, Jonathan?
Just giving that realistic feel to it, right?
It is, right? Like, this is the best part about it. It's like you can simulate all you want, but when you have real people picking their teams, it's a whole different.
Absolutely.
I look up a lot of the RASs for a lot of these guys that were at the combine, and I try to find stuff on that outside of it, from pro days, because Ken Platt does a lot of research, gets all those numbers, puts them in, and plugs them in at RAS and their pro comps. The reason why I love Aiden Hutchinson, do you want to know who his pro comp is right now?
What you got?
A fourth round guy that became a star out there in Las Vegas, Max Crosby.
Ah, really?
Yep.
I can see that actually.
Yeah.
Now that you put the name, I can actually see that.
And now here's the other thing: the only thing that kept Aiden Hutchinson from getting a perfect 10 RAS was his weight.
Really?
Yep, because he had a second. No, because he didn't have a lot of weight, because he's 6'6" and 260 pounds.
Makes sense.
But you move him to outside linebacker like they did in that 3-4 hybrid defense that they ran at Michigan, and he fits exactly what we're doing in Detroit.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's gonna be interesting if you guys end up with him. 7th round here. I'm gonna go defensive line guy. I'm actually gonna go Marquand McCall from Kentucky. Just a guy that had to play against a bunch of runs and trying to get a run stopper here. If you're gonna hit on somebody, defensive line guy, it's not gonna hurt to get a run stopper. All right, Lions are on the clock. 2:34.
Oh, they gave it to me anyways. Okay,
They did.
Let's look and see who's available at corner. Give
Corner?
me your top 5 that are left.
Vincent Gray, Jacoby Durant, Damarian Williams, Josh Thompson, and Monteric Brown.
I would go with Vincent Gray. I know it's a Michigan guy, but his RAS is above 8.
Oh, wow. All right. Vincent Gray.
For a 7th round pick with a RAS above 8, that's a win.
Yeah, I'd take that. Chance to be impactful right away. It's just what the Lions need.
Right. I mean,
All
like
right.
I said, the last couple of picks, it's drafting for depth.
Absolutely.
You're looking for those hidden gems. You're looking for sleepers. And like I said, that Isaiah Weston pick, because I didn't plan on picking at 234.
And that's
actually the Bronco.
And that's what the RAFs are built for, is the latter part, to see who is your diamonds in this draft that can come in and not only compete for a roster spot, but also compete for a job in the rotation or even the starting lineup.
Isn't it crazy that David Bell was the slowest wide receiver at the combine?
David Bell was? I didn't even look at that part.
Yeah, he ran a 4.65. And that was the slowest.
4.65 is the slowest for a receiver, man.
Yeah,
we've gone a long way in the 40s now, right?
That Slade, the great white hope or hype from Alabama, he ran just as fast as Cooper Kupp with a 4.62.
Wow.
And he's slated to be a 7th round pick. Or UDFA.
Right.
All right, yeah. Wow, that's insane.
And that's why I didn't even want to hear David Bell mentioned. That's why I immediately, as soon as you said Watson, it's done.
Watson, I don't care. Don't talk about this other guy. That's fine. So your Chiefs are up here. I'm kind of looking at best available at this point because a couple of the guys I was hoping.
You still need wide receiver depth.
Yeah, I was looking at Naylor. There's Naylor, Robinson, Stearns.
Here's a small school guy that no one's been looking at. He's out of Lenore Rhine. Derek Young. The kid's amazing. 6'3", 220 pounds. Good route runner. Comes from a small community college school.
Oh. Lenore Ryan. Okay. I get down with that. We definitely need some kind of hit here.
Size.
Yeah.
Size, speed, depth. That's somebody that you could throw on the practice squad And if McCole Hardman can't fix the Eric Ebron hands he has, you can bring him in and run the slot.
Man.
I would have said Demetrius Harris hands because that makes it a little bit more Chiefs related.
I know, but they all are about the same, really. If you look at it, you're looking at a 30% drop rate.
Yeah, you're right. No.
I agree, and that's been why, in a way, I guess that McCole has not grown in the offense as much. It's just because that drop rate has been high. The talent level that he had potentially should be. It's the
same reason why I laughed at the Bears signed MVS and what's his name from the Packers as well. What was the other one? Equanimous St. Brown. Both of them are dropsies.
Yeah, well, we got MVS. Scantling.
You got MVS. That's right. Yeah. All he is pure speed, and that's if he can catch the ball.
You got to lay it up perfectly for him and hope he still catches it.
Right.
I'm with you. It's going to be interesting.
Who's that guy from that movie, The Replacements? He's Clifford Franklin. Coach, you just don't look natural.
And that's another name I didn't realize Chiefs had. The depth in a way the depth is pretty good for the Chiefs as far as what they have in the receiver room, but there's just so many question marks about every single one of them. When you said MVS and Juju Smith-Schuster, Josh Gordon, another one, there's a lot of question marks and a lot of talent in that room. Still, despite losing Tyreek, but there's a lot of question marks on what that group could be potentially and what they could not be potentially.
Yeah, I just think Patrick Mahomes is going from, an offense he's had for the last 3 years or whatever to now you got a whole different wide receiver corps. And it's like, all right, well, who's going to stay healthy? Who's not? Is Juju actually going to play the whole season? Or is he going to be on the bench because he's injured? Or whatever it is.
That's the other thing. Juju Smith-Schuster has not had a healthy season since AB left the Steelers.
That's right.
He's played 12 to 15 games. And the 15 games was this year.
Yeah, it was because he was out there. I think pretty much the whole last year, or previous year. So
yeah, he was out for 9 of the 16 games last year. He only played 7. He had 400 yards, which is great for 7 games. But only 1 touchdown.
But you need guys on the field.
And that's what brought up James Washington and the other guy that's there. That's why they became the main targets for Big Ben.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, dropping Deontay Johnson. Yeah, drops.
Yeah.
Talk about drops, that guy. All right. Anyways, back to it here. Browns are up 246 here. So we did edge, wide receiver. What are we looking at? Safety. Corner or tight end, cornerback. Where I
corner, tight end, or actually running back. He might be listed as. If Connor Hayward is there, that would be a great pick for him because he can play fullback, running back, and tight end out of Michigan State. If he's there.
Here. Oh yeah, there he is. He's under tight end on this one.
Yep.
Connor Hayward, I like that. If he's able to be versatile, especially on an offense that's going to be looking for it with Deshaun, that's going to be perfect.
Does anybody need a fullback on their team?
Do not.
Yeah, I'm out of picks.
The only reason why I'm going to say this guy's name, he's out of Purdue, Xander Horvath. His RAS pro comp is Mike Allstott.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Does that even work in today's game? Does that kind of fullback even work?
He can receive out of the backfield. He can block on passing downs, and he can block on running downs. Yes, that does work. If you don't want to use him as a fullback, he's a guy you could transition into a halfback. He's played both for Purdue, and he would be a power back for days.
Yeah, because the Chiefs, last year,
he's 6'2", 240 pounds with 4.5, 4.4-ish speed. Oh, yeah, that wakes you up a little bit.
Hey. I mean, we took, what's his name here? I'm looking him up real quick. Michael Burton. Michael Burton from New Orleans,
Who came from Detroit before that.
So, I mean, I wouldn't mind him if we can sneak away with that guy. Sounds like some promise. Let's see here. I'm on the clock here, 2:51. I'm going to go Trey Williams from Arkansas. Mike was talking pretty highly about him.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go that route.
That's a good pick. He's been pretty. He didn't put up I think he's one of the guys who hadn't put up a lot of numbers, but he's just productive on how he attacks on the D line and be able to disrupt plays. I think that's a good pick and very underrated pick. Trey Williams could be.
If it wasn't for injuries, the last fullback that would have been a good choice, who played for the Browns, who had a pro comp of Mike Stott, was Peyton Hillis.
Real? Oh yeah, we had Peyton Hillis. No, we did. Yeah, we did. That's
Yeah, the Browns did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drafted him.
1 year wonder. Let's see here. Chiefs are up again here. Actually, I'm gonna look at offensive tackle because it's not gonna hurt for depth wise.
No.
There was a guy that Mike and I.
Rattle
Mike
off
Settle.
the names, and I'll tell you if I heard of anybody.
Tackle right now, DeLucas, Deculis.
It's Deculus.
Deculis, thank you.
Yeah.
Luke Tenuta.
Those Louisiana names.
Yeah, I
Yep.
know, right? They get me every time. Devin Cochran, Bamadile Olaseni,
No, there's
Myron
a Samoan
Cunningham.
name if I ever heard one.
right? And it's a Utah guy. We know Andy Reid loves the Utah BYU guys.
So does Dan Campbell, too.
Oh, Tyler Vrabel. That's the guy that we were looking at last time. Son of Coach Vrabel
Mike.
for the Titans. I think that was the guy we were looking at. Van Denmark was the last one that we also mentioned at one of the times. So I think I'm going to go.
Everybody was, because of the 10 RAS for Jordan Davis, did you listen to the Combine and what they said about him on why he only played 30% of the snaps?
No, actually, I must have missed that part. I was
they
a
were
lot of
talking.
mute.
It was after they ran it, and he ran that amazing 40. And they talked about, this is why he was off the field a lot. Average NFL defensive linemen, as far as D tackles concerned, run 500 yards a game. Jordan Davis averaged 850 yards per game.
Gee. That's a big man running
With only
like that.
Right, which you're big, you're 6'4" and 340 pounds, and you need oxygen after you run a guy down from behind for 20 yards.
What the world?
Because think about it, he was going past the line to begin with, taking on double teams and working there, and then the containment's busted. The running back gets loose or a wide receiver sweep, and he has to turn around and catch them, and he would catch them before they got a touchdown. That's where he got most of his tackles.
That's insane. I did not hear that. Oh, man. So that makes sense then. All right, guys.
So,
I think it's updated on your side. But no, that's insane. Like, just by that. So let's do a little recap here. See how you get your thoughts, your feelings. If this was to come into play for you. Jeremy, we'll start with you here on the Lions side. Looking at your first couple picks here between Walker, Seen, and Watson, and then Anderson, the linebacker. Like, what are your thoughts here around your picks?
I think it's great. It adds talent and depth to this team. We're paper thin at safety. So 2 safeties are almost a must in this draft, and that's why I chose Sterling Weatherford later, too. So, yeah, I love the draft I did.
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid, too. You shared with us some sneaky guys to look for, some under the radar, with the Northern Iowa, Isaiah Weston, especially being one, and then Sterling Weatherford. So,
yeah, Isaiah Weston is that perfect 10 RAS I was telling you I wasn't going to name till I got there.
I got you. I like it. Solid draft there.
Absolutely, there's a lot of depth, and again, that's something that I think a lot of talent on the board for the Lions, but at the same time, depth talent to really continue to build that program and build that organization for Dan Campbell. I think that's a very solid start right there.
Yeah, and Wink.
And at,
Wink.
at 19, I love the Devin Lloyd pick. Even though he ran a 4.65, do you realize he still had a 9.56 RAS?
Did not know. Wow.
Yeah. So he almost had a 10 himself. He had the size, he had everything but the speed.
That's just amazing. Wink here is jealous you got Saint. So there you go on that. You got somebody jealous on that for Chiefs fans, so that's pretty cool. Let's see here. We'll go down. I'll make mine last. Jonathan here. Look at the Saints here. What are our thoughts here? Olave, Lloyd, Jones, Mitchell, Robinson Jr., kind of your 4 or 5, I guess. What are we thinking?
Yeah, like I said, my focus at first was really for the offensive tackle. I didn't get one early on. It's like I was hoping for. It just never panned out. If that's not the case, you probably see the Saints in the real draft trade up to at least get that offensive tackle. But I had to go with what was given with Chris Olave being, in my eyes, one of the top 3 receivers in this draft, falling to 16. And to complement Mike Thomas with his route running and speed that he provides, and gives a weapon to Jameis Winston. Devin Lloyd, I said that was just more of a best player available pick. I did not want a quarterback with Kenny Pickett was still available. I think that, I'm not high on the quarterbacks, and I don't think taking a first round quarterback would be the best bet for us at this time at this year. Devin Lloyd would be in that. Travis Jones, another one, who's another, I think, a best player available in the eyes at 49, and really providing depth on the D tackle spot, and then not getting that offensive tackle until Max Mitchell. But the offensive line is just something that I feel like it's going to be a big target. It didn't fall that way that I was hoping to early on. But getting Brian Robinson and then Jalen Whittemire continued to really replenish that offensive side of the ball. And focusing on the weapons side for Jameis and really giving opportunity, because offense wise, we talked about separation. The offense in the Saints was, I think they were dead last on separation at the skill position, receivers and tight ends. So getting the speed and route running of Chris Olave, getting a big size tight end and Jalen Whittemire that can go get the ball and make something happen. I think that's going to be a huge restart at least for this offense under the new regime of Dennis Allen.
Oh, by far. And I think I like the load up late, or later in the draft, between the third and fourth round, just on offense, just trying to go get some guys, some big guys that's going to take care of some business against those defensive guys.
I'm going to have to leave. My phone's about ready to die.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Just recap mine here real quick here. Obviously, Mike's going to pick the Chiefs tomorrow. He's going to be a little bit more in depth than me. But, it's defensive heavy for the Chiefs here, and that's kind of, I think, what we're going to aim for in the end. We'll get some weapons going into play, but I think it's just going to be an overall defensive style draft, exactly what Veach did for the offensive line last year of just loading up on draft picks. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him really go all out, especially on the edge, linebacker, in the corner position. And I would not hate it if he goes 2 secondary players in the first, because Daxton Hill's there, Scene's there, Elam's there. So I wouldn't hate to see 2 secondary guys either go into play.
No, like I said, the way how this division is being rebuilt, you have to start loading up a little bit more on that defense and get younger, but at the same time, and for the Chiefs wise, cost effective, and that's something that you're going to really need to look into as the contract of Pat Mahomes really starts kicking down the road a little bit more. Travis Kelce's contract kicks down the road a little bit more, so you're going to need to start getting a little bit cheaper on that side of the ball, and as well as younger. So I agree. Targeting all 3 sides of the defensive side of the ball with the edge with Mafe and then Walker, and as well as Elam and Joseph. That's a good start into that aspect of really targeting that defensive side and creating the depth that you're going to need to compete against the teams of with Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, and Justin Herbert in that AFC West for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I'm not going to go over the Browns pick. I don't think we drafted too bad for him. I think they got enough depth here. Janal, McBride. I like Jones Jr. for him, being a speed guy. So I think for those guys, for the Browns, they're just going to be looking probably to fill more depth than anything, than refilling this year, especially at the Deshaun Watson trade. They're just going to try to get what they can. So
Absolutely. I agree with that for sure.
All right, let's see here. Got a couple more comments here. What's that? CLXCH. No MVS is technically also under contract, but we do have a way out this year if things don't work out. Yeah. I mean, obviously they put that, stipulation in just in case things go south without, an Aaron Rodgers. But he performed well with Aaron Rodgers, so he should perform well with Patrick Mahomes, considering that they're almost kind of the same quarterback in a way.
There's not much of a drop-off between the two, is there?
No. I can't imagine there would be. I mean, if you're going from Aaron Rodgers like Devontae Adams to Derek Carr, that's a whole different subject.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's been kind of thing, but it's time will tell.
Absolutely.
Jonathan, thank you for joining on and doing this draft with us. I know, like I said, I know you're quite busy with tournament season underway, especially also with the upkick of your facility as well, your academy. And I know that how that kind of goes because my brother, he actually coaches the hitting coach for the Milwaukee Brewers right now, and he opened up a local academy here as well. So I'm aware of the process. I know it's stressful. I went in there to help him out with a few things. So it sounds like you're doing great things, and then I hope to have you on sometime, maybe as we get closer to training camp or something like that, and talk with some Saints ball. So.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate the time. I love to take that invitation to be able to do so as we get closer to the as you said, the training camp. I love talking sports altogether. I've been talking with Dan on baseball, but
yep.
I love talking football. I love talking about my Saints. So anytime, let me know, and we'll definitely make sure to schedule something out for that. Solid.
We will. We'll stay in contact here. All right, guys. Jeremy for the Lions, he had a jet out. Appreciate having him on. Great insights. Please make sure you go check out his channel as well. Kneecap Biting with Smoking Jeremy B. Fabulous channel. Great insights. Anyways, guys, it's Tanner. I'm out. Everybody have a great Easter Sunday night. And we'll see you tomorrow for show 2. Thanks all.
Appreciate it.